something I'd like to share with you according to the news, my perception, the things that I have accumulated over the years. And please evaluate my information. Go yourself, make your homework, and investigate. Because when I read an article today, this morning, and I like the site, CNBC's Andrew Ross Sorkin says, covering the SVB, which is social media marketing. The Silicon Valley Bank collapse, meltdown, because in less than 24 hours it went down. Then you say, well, he says walking like a tightrope. And I like to quote him, he says, it's actually very important for you to say what are the news on the good side, on the bad side, which means you have to analyze all possible angles and perspectives. I think it's very objective in here because he says, on one hand, he said, journalists must avoid sparking panic. That is true. Panic is never, ever a good decision. On the other hand, causing a catastrophic run on the banks. And says, on the other hand, journalists also owe it to their audiences to deliver them a clear-eyed assessment of the state of affairs, of course. And then I say something. You have to do your own homework, which means you investigate, you research, you ask, you write it down. In my opinion, Benjamin Franklin's strategy, which is pros and cons. Why? Most people love sensationalism. That is why I never watch news. Why? News lost long time ago their objectivity. They pretend to sell to get an audience, to increase ratings, and that is why when I see many news in some countries, they actually don't tell you the whole story. When you see, for example, what is happening in Berlin or New York or Tokyo, Bogota, or Rio de Janeiro, in any other city, Madrid, you might think that certain things happen. Of course, we are 8 billion people in the planet. Something must happen. But you cannot focus saying that everyone is bad, that everything is going down. No, not at all. That is why I love continuing here, because then he says, the job of the journalist is to, tell the public what is happening. And if you believe in transparency, which is objectivity, real facts backed up by real research, then you say we should all want that, because it's important that we all have proper, reliable information. Remember what I'm telling you, proper, reliable information, because most people pretend to tell you something out of the blue, spontaneously, because they listen, they heard, but they never made their homework about the research, about the real investigation concerning any topic. Today, because of the overflow of information, everybody, most of us, or many, I don't include myself in there, pretend to know about a topic just because I read a couple of articles about the issue. No, it's not that. It's not that simple. When you see, for example, what happened in 2008, many things played a bigger role in here. When you see what was the banking system like, many things that need to be corrected, of course, you can go there, go to Wikipedia, make your homework, research, and say, well, if you would like to invest something, the one first condition that I tell you is never, ever, under my experience of all people that I know about, of all the articles that I read on a daily basis, from the banking sector where I used to make some research and investigate articles because of the English issues, then the one first thing is there is never such a thing as the super golden opportunity where you have to, run heads over heels and get that opportunity. That never is the case. The same as panic. Sensationalism is never good. It's important, like I said, that you react, that you see properly what the scenario looks like, but then that you sit down and calmly take a decision. This is not like a fire that is spreading in a building. No, this is something where you can sit down and say, okay, somebody's telling you about an opportunity. Why don't you go there and make your homework? Why don't you ask some people, reliable people with really information and objectivity? Like I said, people with knowledge. For me, for example, today, I love reading, for example, all possible newspapers, BBC, CNN Money, CNN Business, and the many others, to compare information, And then I like to read some columnists where I think that maybe they are interesting in here, so that you have the whole picture, and still leaving some room for, skepticism. And it's always healthy, because listen, when I read that article here, and I like to share with you, there is this guy here, and I think it's totally irresponsible. I like to cite him with name. His name is here, the investor Jason Calacanis says, an investor, think about it, where he knows he needs banks. He says here, he has a podcast and commands a Twitter audience of nearly 700,000 followers. And he tweeted, capital letters. You should be absolutely terrified right now. That is the worst thing from an investor, especially him. And then he's maybe looking for his own opportunities in here. On the right wing talk channel Fox News Monday morning, Fox and Friends, he co-hosts with Ansley Earhart suggested Americans needed to go out to our banks and take our money out. You know what would happen if all people went to the banks? You know what would happen there? You would collapse. You should see what happens in the 20s because of a panic, because of a we do need the banking system. We do need the financial system. You cannot say out of the blue that we just, eliminate the entire money issue. Listen, just check out in the news what happened to FTX with Bitcoin and everything. Everyone was telling you, yeah, you can invest in here and then you'll be billionaire out of the blue, millionaire out of the blue. There is no such a thing. And guys like him, guys that pretend to tell the audience, you should be absolutely terrified right now. And people are following him. Oh my goodness, that is so dangerous. You can read in the news. Just ask Google. Google, for example, the question, how many banks and people and things and institutions have been destroyed because of the irresponsible comments of some wannabe influencers, because people don't research or, investigate information and the background of that information? That is why it's so important for you to make your homework. Sit down, like I said, make your homework, Benjamin Franklin style, pros and cons, and then you go from there. But it's important that people say, I have to, you don't have to be an expert mathematician. What you do need to know is, let me see, what does it look like? Then today, especially with the internet, where we can research and make the homework, so much better. And it's actually our responsibility to go there and investigate and do the homework, and don't believe in the business that is, on one hand, the super business that is going to make turn you into a millionaire. People that would promote that would be millionaires in the first place. And most people are not. Just a couple of people that use information to create, like I said, sensationalism, because they know what kind of anxiety and frustrations you might have. We all have one way or the other, on one hand. On the other hand, when people in panic say you need to run, you know what happened most of the cases when there was a catastrophe somewhere and people actually were driven by panic? More people died because of the panic. You can see it either in a fire, either in a catastrophe, I'm not talking about that tsunami coming and you don't having the need to run. Of course, it's only logical. But I am talking about a financial issue where some people really responsible, to get followers, create news like this. Go out and run and get the money out of your bank. What is this for an irresponsible man? Now, you as an individual, the first thing that you should do is you assume your own opinion. Objectivity, like I said. When you are interested in a topic, go down and investigate and research reliable information sources, and then you go from there. And you take a piece of paper and you write it down. And I promise you, your brain will develop so much more objectivity concerning business opportunities, concerning knowledge of certain things that you are, where you're really interested, maybe in investing. And please, please, please make the homework. Never, ever, in my opinion, believe in the guy that calls you, hey, listen, there is this opportunity here, and then you have to just watch, please, The Wolf of Wall Street, where you see that they were laughing at people investing out of the blue $10,000, $15,000, $100,000 because somebody else told them that was the best business ever. There is no such a thing. That is why I personally confess to you, I don't believe in businesses like this. I don't believe in panic where you don't analyze things objectively with clear, calm way. I don't believe in lotteries and, in all kinds of games where you think, oh, this is the opportunity, golden opportunity. There is no such a thing. If you like to keep your investments, your assets, and the things in your advantage. Remember, your assets first, information. First in here, time, thoughts, actions in your advantage. Please don't believe in people that tell you out of the blue that they have the solution for everything in here. There is no such a thing, believe me. It's important that you say you go down, make your homework, you work, and first, information, reliable information, objective information to defend your own assets. That's your responsibility. And if there is somebody telling you about a business, go and make your own research. Go and ask, wait, always wait and research. That's your responsibility. And like I said, we all depended on reliable information along history. Today, because of the overflow of information, everyone pretends to tell you that he or she is the messiah of money making, or I am pretty sure that you understand my point. So make your homework, believe in yourself, get the proper information, write it down, Benjamin Franklin style, like I said before, and then you will see that with this perspective, you gain in objectivity, you gain on managing your assets so much better, because maybe you have worked all your entire life for your money. No one is telling you, you don't know. Go and research. If you are insecure, ask a couple of, like I said, reliable people. And never ever believe in the expert and the wannabe expert that never did something really significant for himself or for others. And even then, mistrust. It's like the healthiest skepticism to keep all your assets, all your money, all the things, all your cash flow running in your advantage. Just read the news about how many professional athletes went and lost millions and millions because somebody else misadvised them. The same happened to artists and many other people. It's not the question of accumulating diplomas. It's not the question of knowing or that you went to a university or college. Just think about that. Part of the information in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, part of the information is true. Today you can go and make your own homework. Just go, research, investigate, go from there, and on and on and on. But please, panic, naysayers, people that don't even know, people that with no significant knowledge whatsoever. Just go and make your homework. That is why I tell you, it's so much better that you rely on yourself here instead of any influencer that is only wanting, on the verge of getting followers no matter what. I totally think that 10 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, people would say the same as we say today. Oh my goodness, we used to do that. That's how you say humankind needs to evolve. But first of all, evolve in your brain, the kind of information you put in here, and then you will see how much more you get from there, how much more you will see. Because, I tell you about a couple of businessmen I met. Some of them, I remember, told me, no, don't ask for the salary. Just work and work and work. We'll see what happens along the way. Just show me your work. When you're a professional person, when you value what you do, when you value your expertise and knowledge objectively, and you are eager to learn and to do what is your responsibility, the other thing that has to be clarified on the table in a solid, reliable, responsible businesses, how much are you going to get paid? How much is the money on the table so that you know that you deliver a service and a work? But I used to know some people, businessmen, wannabe businessmen, not even good businessmen. Let's say a couple of them in Colombia, where they said, no, go kid, go and work, and then we see what happens. Such a thing is no good. Like I said, when you know what you're doing, your research, your investigation, what you did, what you investigate, what you know, actually, your expertise, value, treasure that. You are the only one responsible for treasuring that. The others, they might say something that is actually not even, like I said, objective. So it's a question of information is power, but when you have the right information, when you process it properly, when you give it time, the same as with the language. I teach languages. I investigate many topics because of the languages that I teach. And I know it's a question of time. When people come with this formula, this and that, at the end of the day, nothing from the things that I know, and I know a lot of things, has ever worked for a person that tells another, let's say, for example, English. Oh no, you will learn English out of the blue in 3 months. Can you believe somebody really developing English in 3 months? Starting from zero? As they know that people are anxious in learning, that they had frustration in their universities, that they had, these bad experiences. They just use that in their advantage for their marketing story. Terrible story. What you do know is you need to work, you need to sit down, you need to be patient with yourself, you need to do your homework, you need to repeat. You are entitled to repeat. Of course, language is repetition and learning. Check all kids in the world, how they learn the first language, even the smartest. The repetition is there. So go from there, see that your brain is doing it, do your homework, feel motivated, and either because you use the proper words, proper sentences, things that motivate and encourage you, you listen to the proper music, you write down the proper music, either for English or Spanish or German, you name it, and then you go from there, and then you will see what your brain will do with that. I tell all my students and I encourage them, if you can pay a reliable, really effective teacher, go for it. But if not, you can do that on your own, because you just type in YouTube, I like those sentences, I like those expressions, I like to learn them by heart first, memorizing them. Your brain will help you because your brain will have a reference. Then you go and then you say, I like my song. You go with your song. I have a list of songs I give my people, which are the easiest song, for example, for English or Spanish or German or even French and Portuguese if you want to. And then you say, okay, I'm not going to focus on grammar. No, grammar is only good for the teacher to correct, or when you are an editor, or when you like to create something that is actually more sophisticated. But at the end of the day, for your brain is the application of the language. that you write it, that you repeat it, that you associate, that you watch a couple of good videos. I give my people a whole package of opportunities for the language, for Spanish, for German, for English, for all the languages, because I know it's a question of time, motivation, progress control, and that you see results at the end of the day. It comes to the outcomes precisely. So think about it concerning learning, concerning money, concerning investments, so that time, thoughts, actions work in your favor and not against you, especially not when somebody, like I said, without any really solid knowledge whatsoever, is creating panic or sensationalism. No, you can do your own homework. Go and make your homework, research and investigate a little bit more, and then you will see what you are able to do. Got it? And subscribe.